Hey everyone, thanks so much for coming to this event. So to introduce myself, I'm Renzo Heredia. I want to talk to you about QA, specifically audio QA, and how I think audio teams and QA teams can work together to maximize the quality of a project's audio. Quick background about myself, I've done audio design on these projects, but most of my experience is actually in audio QA. My talk is going to focus on my own experience and perspective in QA. It's mostly my personal perspective, so it doesn't necessarily represent the perspective of Sony or other teams I've worked on. QA is a function of game development I've come to really love and appreciate, and I want to share my own thoughts on why I think QA is so important to think about. So what is QA?
This way, Kratos. This way. This way. This way. This way, Kratos.
So I'll let the video play out and you can kind of see like all these different bugs. Basically I define quality assurance as the function of game development that focuses on documenting the stability state of a project. As you can see, this is God of War Ragnarok in its early form, and it's kind of beautiful that we could show it in this state to show that, you know, we're all human, mistakes happen. It's interesting seeing a game like this, like in its early form when things are just like coming together. QA analysts and testers, I'll actually just like pause it here. There's so many beautiful bugs you can find here. QA analysts and testers, I usually say are like, they're basically the detectives of a project. They're the people who look around and go, why is that there? Why is that there? Why is that working that way? Why is this working that way? They're the people who always ask why. And a lot of my talk wants to focus on that question, why? QA seeks to help answer this question as best as possible. And to help the team, by its very name, QA assures that the quality of a project is as exceptional as possible. So what is audio QA? Audio QA for me is testing that is focused on ensuring that the audio for a project is working as intended. So one of the past games I've worked on is The Outer Worlds. This is actually a video from Cujo Sounds, who actually helped find an audio bug in the game. So take a look and listen in this video, and this actually highlights an audio bug sort of in action, and it's nice to see like an active representation to see like what's going on. And if it doesn't play, all good. I can describe what's going on. All good. All good. I'm going to improvise. I'm going to go for time. So basically this is what this video shows, and there's a link for it here. Actually, if you just search this on YouTube, you can find it. But basically in this video, there is a river, and when you pass, I could represent with my voice, so you'll hear like, even with someone talking, they will sound like this, but maybe if you move just to this corner, when you go to this corner, they sound like, so that even just that movement, that is an example of basically you're hearing this effect, but there's so many possibilities of what's going on. Is it the person went to another room and there's an issue with the portal and the way the rooms are connected? Are they in an area where the person who's speaking, maybe they unloaded or despawned? And whatever that is, QA are the people who can help seek that answer. They can help basically go in, connect wise, put on any debug info that's needed, and basically help you figure out what's going on. So they're the ones who can take a capture log and go, hey, this is the issue. This is what we're noticing. There is an issue with the way the rooms are connected. So whenever a person goes from here to here, so that can happen often. So QA for me as a whole is a beautiful department because it embraces the hard work we all put in making art. It embraces human accidents. It embraces seeing all the effects of all of our hard work as developers that we put into a game. As audio designers, we always strive for the best audio quality. And we should always do this. We should also accept that our work will never be perfect and that it's okay to ensure that our work is tested and that it's double checked. It's given that, like, let me just make sure, let me verify. Whether it's by yourself, like just via double checking what you've checked in, or just asking for help. So I want to talk about how audio developers can work together with QA developers. So first, stay in contact. This could be many different ways. Sometimes it can be hard to reach out to like maybe a different department or different people. One way to do it is just reaching out, maybe schedule some pizza, schedule like a coffee meeting, or just say, hey, like we're gonna meet up here in the kitchen. Let's just chat. I guarantee when you have a conversation with a QA coworker, you're going to learn one new thing that you did not know was in the build. Maybe you might learn that the weapon you were putting together, if you hold L2, oh, you can charge it. I did not know that. Oh, the character has an animation when you reload. When you reload, they're meant to express a vocal effort. I can see them like moving their mouth to say something. I did not know that. Let's put together time to like scope that out. QA are the people who can like kind of help just mention something. Sometimes casually you might learn about something. And it's nice to just know, oh, okay, these are the people looking out for these things in the game. The second is don't be afraid to request assistance from QA as needed. So QA essentially are your X-Men. Each of them have like their own thing that they specialize in. So all of us, we might specialize in music, sound effects, dialogue. You might talk to a QA person who's really good at combat. They can know the exact frame that a weapon hits a creature. They might know the exact ways you can like move back and forth and fall through the world and like expose like different parts of the level. Reach out to them anytime. Something that I was actually I found very fascinating was at GDC, both the QA and audio roundtables express the same sentiment, where sometimes we feel like we're the last to hear about something. That's already a topic and something that QA can feel sympathetic with and go like, hey, like let's work together to get to know what's happening in the build. So that's another way to reach out to QA. Let's see. So now I want to talk about if you're in QA, especially just audio QA, how can you work together with audio? So first, QA can be informative as needed for bugs. If QA can provide debug info, capture logs, this information allows the audio team to focus on fixing issues and continue creating content without worrying about grabbing as much info. So this is actually an example of a bug. So let's say that river bug, maybe you find out that, it is obstruction. QA would help lay out the repro steps, the results, and any additional info, such as like a link to the capture log. Like, go here, this will just load this up. This will show you the capture synced with the video that was provided with the bug. Second, QA can always send info to the rest of the team. So let's say you were in QA. You might be the one person who's really skilled with audio. Everyone else in QA, usually there's like one audio specialist, maybe two or more. But if you're the audio specialist and you have a team of people, let the rest of the team know what audio issues you're hearing. So maybe you know what Foley is or vocal efforts, but another developer or QA analyst may not know that, but you can be there to help educate them and let them know, hey, like when the character moves, not only do they move, but they have vocal efforts. And those things, just letting them know about that, they can help go, oh, I did not know that. That is good to know. And now suddenly all of QA is an audio QA department looking out for these things. So really, to cap it off, I highly recommend whether you're interested in QA or you're in a studio and you know you have a QA department and you want to get to know your fellow QA analysts, get to know them, get to know the discipline in general if you're interested in QA. So Jira is a platform created by Atlassian. You can actually create your own Jira project for free, so you can use it and just know like how to make bugs, tasks, what is that process like. There's 2 awesome audio QA videos I recommend. If you basically search for these, you can find them on YouTube. Amanda's audio QA talk from her time at Blizzard is very good. I highly recommend that. The third, I recommend just hunting for bugs and try to practice figuring out why an issue occurs. You can even like restart and see if it still occurs. In one game, the thing I usually find the most in games are you walk right in the middle of like a door in a room, and if you walk right in the middle, suddenly your cloak is very muffled. That can often happen. But it's fun to look out for these things and see, does it always occur? Is it just this door? Is it other doors? And does it occur often? If you're doing that, then you're already practicing the QA philosophy of like trying to find out why something occurs. I am here for any questions if there's time. Yeah. What do studios look for when hiring for QA? So the question is, sorry. Okay. So the question is, what do studios look for when hiring QA? That's a good question. So usually they'll look out for like any experience playing games in general. So sometimes it'll definitely be a plus if you know that studio's games. So for Sony Santa Monica, God of War 3, the game actually has a QA behind the scenes video. So I watched that and basically like just studied like, okay, this is how they played the game. This is how they worked. And then I just played the game. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can play the game or watch a walkthrough, just get to know how it works. It's okay if you haven't played it, maybe just watch a walkthrough, see like how it works. So I'd say first experience, at least some knowledge of the studio, and then experience in like even just knowing that, how I say, like if you found a bug in a game and being able to describe like, I kind of saw this and this is why it occurred. Those things they'll probably look out for. Yeah.
Only asking for a friend, but how do you influence or how do you inspire a QA team of 3 people that know nothing about audio and you're interested in listening to?
Great question. So the question is, how do you, let me know if I get this right, you want to have other people who may not know about audio in the QA department get to know what audio is. So I recommend basically just like calling out any updates you put into the game. Like especially that if you're an audio team, I recommend like updating not just the studio as a whole, but definitely QA. Just so you know, hey, just a heads up, we just added this in. Like just letting y'all know, this is something cool we're trying to do. Feel free to let us know about anything. I know sometimes feedback may be better to come from internally, like your audio leads and all that, but letting QA know what's going on, like especially little details, that'll help them identify it. So I recommend especially anything small, like vocal efforts, Foley, just letting them know that. And if they don't know it, they will probably ask you like, oh, what Foley, what is that? What are vocal efforts? And once you tell them, I guarantee they'll probably go like, I did not know that, that's so cool. And then now they're picking it up and they're trying to hear it. So yeah, I think you had your hand up. Or,
It was a similar question.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, last question.
If someone else has the last question, I don't want to take it. I might ask it later, but they're not. So blue sky question.
I want to make sure I understand. So like how to, what I would look for if I was building a team or,
Sure. If you were having to, imagine you had to start your current department from scratch, what would you be asking for from like, you know, procurement or whatever in order to best make sure they had everything they needed to succeed?
that's a great question. Okay, the overall question being like, if I were to build a QA department, what would I believe be needed for that to succeed? Okay, that's a great question. I will put a disclaimer. I'll put my personal perspective. I hadn't thought of that, so I'm like kind of like, ooh, what do I think? I know a lot of amazing QA departments have like specialists. So if you were to get to know your QA department, you might get to know like, oh, you're the combat specialist. Oh, you're the UI specialist. You're the artist specialist. Oh, you're the audio specialist. I would, especially in a QA team, personally, I would try to find the best interests of people coming in. And for me, I would encourage being open about those interests. So like if someone's interested in combat, you know, I would encourage anyone to vocalize that, to say like, cool, that's awesome. Because I know for a QA lead, I could see them finding it easier to make a test plan. If there were new combat updates, I could go, oh, those 2 people who mentioned they love combat, test this. I know you're going to look out for this stuff. You should test this area. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you all. Thanks, sir.